What are we doing? What are we doing?
What are you doing?
What are we doing, Cenk?
I don't know.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
What are we doing? Someone tell me, what the F are we doing?
Yeah, look, no one signed up for this. I don't know how the hell any of these laws passed. I went to every progressive conference there was over the last 20 years.
Brother, you voted for all of them. Yesterday, Ana Kasparian went on a rampage against leftists and against the woke cult whenever she heard of this New York story of them releasing alleged murderers who chopped up limbs and things like that and left the house so bloody that it's deemed inhabitable. That now Tim Pool is also reacting and joining Ana Kasparian and saying just how ridiculous these leftists are, just how ridiculous these leftist cities have become. Ana Kasparian going as so far to say that she is not even a leftist anymore, because if you can't call these things out for being absolutely crazy, and you know, in a clown world that we live in, even things like this can still stand out as just absolutely nutty. If you can't even call these things out, then Ana Kasparian, somehow coming into common sense, now realizes that like she doesn't even want to be part of the left if she can't call these things out. And Cenk Uygur is sitting next to her, you know, on the Young Turks show and saying like, no, this isn't all leftists that think this, but it's most of them. If you deviate any, you know, at all from what you're supposed to, from the, you know, regularly scheduled programming, then they're going to get mad at you. They're going to try to cancel you. And they're definitely doing that to Ana Kasparian. Let's get into what Tim Pool had to say about Ana Kasparian's, you know, we can call it a meltdown, I guess, but it's really just rage that's coming out because she's realizing the truth, that she's been lied to and she's been pushing a message and a narrative that isn't beneficial to society this whole time. Let's check out what Tim Pool had to say over on Timcast about this Ana Kasparian situation.
In my earlier segment, I talked about the vigilantes who showed up to evict some squatters. Now, it seemed that it was mostly peaceful and they simply tried to talk to them, but I warned that if the police do not enforce the law and the government cannot defend its people, not that it's the job of the government always to do so, but if the people can't rely on police, they'll take matters into their own hands. Now, my fear is that this will lead to an escalation of vigilante violence in the city and the state, and it'll just further break down the system. But we have another story that's been going viral, and Ana Kasparian of the Young Turks has announced if it means to be on the left is to support bail reform in which men who are found with the severed, dismembered bodies of two middle-aged to elderly individuals, they were in their early 50s, so I think it's still middle-aged. Then she says that I'm not on the left anymore. Cenk Uygur immediately goes, no, stop. You're on the left, please. Not literally, but you see, what's happening now is I like the idea of bail reform. I really do. I do not believe we should be a country that imprisons people for any amount of time until proven guilty, unless you have a preponderance of evidence for a real threat to the community. It's the way it's supposed to be. Let me explain. You're accused of shoplifting, and they say he stole a minor petty amount. Well, you know, I don't think that accusation warrants you going to jail and being held there without a hearing, without a trial. Why? It's better that 10 guilty persons escape than one innocent person suffer. We should have the right to defend ourselves. And what are we getting now? Why is the audio playing? Yep. Dismembering a corpse and hiding a corpse is certainly part of the story. But where was I? Bail reform. You know where we're going to go with what she's going to be talking about, so it gets pretty serious. But my point is, if someone shoplifts, you get arrested. We can't prove it. If innocent people get caught up in this, they go to jail for even 2 days. They can lose their jobs. It's a detriment to the economy, to the person's rights. If someone is arrested multiple times, at that point, I think it's fair to say the preponderance of evidence is this is a repeat offender and you lock them up. When it comes to violent crimes, it should be plainly clear. You do not get let go, even if you are innocent. That's right. If you're accused of murder because you were found in a building with severed and dismembered bodies, as this story I'm about to bring you, as you heard Ana already say. Yeah, I have no problem with them saying, the police found you with these dead bodies. You admit you were living in the home with these dead bodies. We're not going to let you go until we can figure out what's going on. That's fine. That's not what they're doing. And this is the warning that we gave all of these lefties when they were saying things like, let the criminals go. They began letting people go who had been arrested dozens of times. That's not the point of bail reform. But unfortunately, that's the manipulation. I want to play this clip. It's 3 minutes long where Ana breaks down what's going on. And I think I commend Ana. I've never agreed with her more. She hits the nail on the head with the hammer. She is completely right about everything she's saying. I respect it. First, let me give you the story from Fox 59. Suspect Ana Kasparian. You can hear for yourself. Actually, maybe you didn't hear what she said because it was on the other speaker, but I'll play it for you now.
Dismembering a corpse and hiding a corpse after dismembering it. Not bail eligible. Not a serious crime. I'm not even kidding, guys. Like when Joy Behar outlined that case, I was like, she's crazy. This isn't a thing. This isn't real. This isn't real. So I looked it up. It's real, guys. It's real. Listen, if being on the left means supporting this, then I'm not on the left, and I'm okay with that. So let me give you the details of the case.
It doesn't mean that.
Okay, if being on the left means supporting this, then I'm not on the left, and I'm okay with that. So let me give you the details of the case.
It doesn't mean that.
Okay, I don't know. Let me give you the details.
On the left. We're all on the left. We don't want people dismembering folks getting released. Only a couple of lunatic.
Some do.
I know. What I was in the middle of saying is only a couple of lunatic activists are like, yeah, we're pro dismemberment guys being let go. Okay, whatever. You don't represent the left at all.
Dismembered bodies. It's so unfair to put them in prison. Okay, let me give you the details of the actual case. Okay.
Ana Kasparian is 100% correct. Jen Kuger is deflecting and trying to protect the idea of the left. It's insane. Ana is 100% correct. Go on any forums. Go into any of these activist spaces. And these people like Jen will say, no, it's only few and far between. It's been years, dude. It's been 5 years. We've had people.
No, it's all of them. Like, well, not all of them, because people get mad when you make blanket statements. But, it's a generality. It's basically all of them. And people like Ana Kasparian are starting to wake up and realize. And Cenk knows it too, but Cenk also knows that his paycheck comes from all those weirdos, all those wackos, the woke cult. So he can't say that it's all of them. He can't try to trash on them like Ana is doing, because he cares more about money, I guess. And then Ana Kasparian possibly could care more about actually being right and getting closer to the truth. Let me know in the comments if you feel like Ana Kasparian is being, genuine in these things, or if she just sees that the tide is turning and, she can't defend these just lunatical things that are happening in the world. Like, you just can't defend this, And if you, like she said, if I have to defend this to be on the left, then I am not on the left. And it's just wild to hear that come out of someone like Ana Kasparian's mouth. But it is. Most lefties are defending things like this because they have to. They don't have any morals or convictions. They only care about their side winning. And New York is on their side. So they have to defend New York at all costs. So Cenk is wrong. It is most lefties that think this way.
People pushed onto the subway tracks and crushed. And these activists have maintained this position. They went out into Times Square and celebrated October 7th's attack on Israel. Okay, the Hamas's attack on Israel on October 7th. You want to get into the, I don't care about Israel, I don't care about, Palestine, oh, Israel's bad, Palestine's bad. I'm not even trying to get into that. I'm saying, I got no problem when you say Hamas is bad. I got no problem when people say that Israel is engaged in excessive actions in Palestine. I say, it's war, it's awful. I don't like any of it. I don't want anybody to die. I'm the United States here. Like, I'm an American citizen. I don't know about this foreign policy stuff. I don't want to be involved in it, right? I know a lot about foreign policy. I mean, like, I don't know why we're involved in it. But when you have activists go out cheering and celebrating murder.
If you enjoy content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
Videos of people gunning people down and then screaming and crying when there's return fire. I'm not talking about the people who are saying Israel's gone too far. I'm saying the people who celebrated Hamas from the get-go. Ana's correct. I'm sure the Young Turks are going to be mad and be like, well, Tim's conflating this. We're not saying that. No, I got you. Ana's correct. It is not a fringe faction. It is the core of the far left that want destabilization in this country. So perhaps it's fair to say, there's a little middle ground here. Cenk is correct in that your typical person on the left is not advocating for dismemberment and murder. But they do want it, at least in the short term. Why? It's called decolonization. There's more than enough videos of more than enough activists ranging from the least known to the most prominent, where they say, take the land, take their homes, take their property. They call people inhuman. Cenk.
I mean, they hate the country. Like, just look at the flags that they fly. Look at what they all stand for. Like, they'll fly every single flag in the book except for the American one. And they'll say every single national anthem in the book except for the American one. And they won't even stand for the American national anthem. So it's like, they hate everything that America is. They hate the nuclear family. They hate there being two genders. They hate the American flag. They hate the American national anthem. They hate everything about America. Like, of course they want destabilization. Of course they like things like this. Tim Pool is exactly right here. And so is Ana Kasparian. And I'm glad people are actually standing up for this stuff. They're actually starting to realize what's really going on. At least on the surface, at the very least, Ana Kasparian is starting to wake up.
Is wrong about this one.
So 4 people were arrested in New York after body parts were found in Long Island. Okay, dismembered body parts. The victims were, 2 people from Yonkers, older individuals. Suffolk County Police say 44-year-old Stephen Brown, 38-year-old Jeffrey Mackey, 40-year-old Amanda Wallace, and 33-year-old Alexis Neves were charged with concealment of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and hindering prosecution. They have not been charged with murder. Prosecutors told a judge there was so much blood in pipes, sink, shower, and toilet of the Railroad Avenue home in Amityville where the suspects were arrested that it was deemed uninhabitable. Police said they confiscated meat cleavers, butcher knives, flesh, and body parts. Attorneys for Brown and Mackey admitted that their clients lived in that home where the body parts and all that blood was found, but denied chopping up the 59-year-old woman and 53-year-old man whose last known address was in Yonkers. Wallace also lived with Brown and Mackey in Amityville. Police said that Knives is homeless. Okay, all 4 pleaded not guilty. The judge released them without bail. They were fitted with GPS monitoring and must report in-person probation and surrender their passports.
I don't care about their passports.
Dude, guys, like what? Okay, so did further research because I just couldn't believe it. Here's more. With 2019 state reforms, mutilation and disposal of murdered corpses are among crimes that are no longer bail eligible. The DA said the 4 went to barbaric lengths to cover the crime. What are we doing? What are we doing?
What are you doing?
What are we doing, Cenk?
I don't know.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
What are we doing? Someone tell me, what the F are we doing?
Yeah, look, no one signed up for this. I don't know how the hell any of these laws passed. I went to every progressive conference there was over the last 20 years.
Brother, you voted for all of them, and you're still pushing the same narratives that got these laws passed. You're still pushing for the same group of people to win over and over and over again. This is how dude, I don't understand how these leftist brains work. They go to one city, they absolutely ruin it. They leave because the city is too bad. New York City or Los Angeles, they leave and go to another state. They go to Texas, they go to Florida. They start to vote the same exact way that they voted in those other places. Then they leave because the city gets too bad because of the decisions that they made. And then they're so shocked, like Cenk Uygur is right here. I don't understand how I've been to every single progressive conference and nobody ever wanted this law passed. Stop voting for progressives then, you idiot. Is it really that hard to understand? I don't care if you dislike them, you know, how they act, you hate how Donald Trump acts, you hate how certain conservative governors or whatever. You don't like how they act, you don't like them as people. At the very least, stuff like this won't be happening, and you won't be left with your hands up saying, I don't know how this happened. I could take a couple guesses of how it happened, Cenk.
Never heard a single person saying, why don't we let the actual criminals go? Hey, if someone butchers someone and chops them up into little pieces, let's do the kind of criminal justice reform where they would be able to walk out free.
Yeah, come at me right now and tell me I'm the bad guy because I want these people who dismembered corpses and tried to conceal the evidence in prison. Come at me and tell me I'm the bad guy. Come at me.
Okay, well, let's play this game then. The Young Turks typically take statements from, like me, for instance, misconstrue them in order to garner, I don't know, internet points among the left for reasons, I guess, to generate money or something. So if you're wondering how you got to this point, perhaps it's because you have moderate, rational individuals, perhaps like me and those of you watching, who are smeared relentlessly as far right for pointing this out when y'all proposed the law. And when Cenk says, I don't know how any of these laws got passed, because you were advocating for them, because AOC was advocating for them. And we said, guys, this is not a good idea. I personally support bail reform, but you can't do it this way. And here we are. And now Anna's shocked, I say. Okay, look, I have no interest in running segments where I misconstrue the political positions of Ana Kasparian or Cenk Uygur.
I also believe that Cenk is a grifter. And I think if he was, I don't think if Cenk wasn't a grifter, he would also be sharing the same sentiments as Ana Kasparian is, but he's not. He's trying to bring Ana Kasparian back into the left, back into the woke cult, because he knows that's who pays his bills. And it's a lot easier to just stay within that cult and, you know, stay in that echo chamber and just make a ton of money. But let me know in the comments if you think that Ana Kasparian is truly coming over to the light side. What do you think about Tim Pool's response to this Ana Kasparian rant? And what do you think about this whole Ana Kasparian and Tim Pool situation? If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and hope to see you guys on the next one.